Hey guys, Mel with Sister Truckers over here. And today I'm going to tell you something that every driver needs to start doing if you're not already doing it already. But this is a real big thing. You have to call the customer as soon as you get dispatch information or as soon as you can. Let me tell you. Because, okay, I got a list here. Number one is directions. Like, you can't just go to the address. I'd say about 3 times out of 10 the address is wrong or it's on a no truck route or something like that. But always call for directions. Number one. Number two is a lot of times at a place you don't have, you need an appointment time and you won't know it. Okay, so you call up as soon as you can, and then that's when you can get the earliest appointment time. A lot of times you don't, it's first come first serve, but hey, just give them a call anyway to make sure. Now what do we have? You need to know, another big thing that helps you is ask them what time do you open or close, whenever, if you're going to get there early, overnight, or see if you can make it before they close. And a big advantage to this is a lot of times they'll be real flexible with you, and they'll stay another half hour or so. And that brings me on to a next point. A lot of times, I probably spend about $200 on this. You could call up, you tell them $20. Would you stay for $20? Would you stay another hour or two? And that has saved me. Let me tell you, I had a 2,000-mile run, and I would have been setting all weekend on Friday, and I ended up at the customer. Shoot, it made me like $700, whatever at the time. It would have made me more now, of course. You know how the pay has increased. But let's move on. Speaking of what time they close, a lot of times what I'll do, actually almost every time if I can, I'll spend the night at the customer rather than a truck stop. I mean, you wake up, jump out of the sleeper, you start getting to work right away. I love working, so that's probably a thing with me. But you wake up, eat breakfast, and you start working. And you don't have to start your clock. So that 2 hours that they unloaded you, I mean, you're on a fresh 14. Just common sense, man. Just there's no downside to it. Another big thing is there's been countless times where they have told me, oh, you have to go to this customer, and it ends up having to go to a completely different place. A lot of times in a completely different town. Man, sometimes like 50 miles away. I'm not kidding you guys. And so that'll save you a lot of headache too. And believe it or not, I'll put this one last. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, I mean, it's nice. So you call up the customer, you say, hey, I got some brick for you or whatever. I'm saying brick because I'm hauling brick right now, but I got some brick for you, whatever. And they say, well, we're not supposed to get any brick. And then you talk to them a little bit. Oh, let me call up this guy or whatever. And, oh, yeah, we are supposed to get that. Yeah, wouldn't have unloaded you if you hadn't called. It's happened, not a bunch, but it's happened enough to where you want to check for it. And so, all those reasons being said, let me give you an example of how I will call the customer, try to be very professional and everything. And let me just kind of go through it with you, okay? You put on your headset. I always try to wear my Bluetooth. That way I know they can hear me clearly. There's no wind noise. I'll say, I'll answer the phone. A lot of times they'll say, oh, this is Tim with so-and-so. How can I help you? Or whatever. A lot of times If it's a secretary, I don't jot their name down. And I'll wait till it's someone receiving, and I'll write their name down, and I'll say this Matt with Dawes, and go through all that. I'll say, first of all, I need directions to the place. I need to know if I have an appointment time. You know, this is my PO number. Is this the right product that you're supposed to get? Blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, just be real courteous and make sure you write down their name. Now, I forget this a lot, and it has saved me a bunch, more times than I can count. Anyway, it's Matt with Tips for Truckers. Hey, have a good day, guys.